When Samsung announced the Galaxy Alpha, I was a bit shocked at first. It was very clear that Samsung was making an attempt to step up its design game a bit. Well, here we are beyond its release, and today we're going to find out what the Galaxy Alpha is all about. It may not be a life-changing device, but for Samsung, it's definitely a step in the right direction. Hey, what's up everyone, this is Dom, and let me start out by saying that the Galaxy Alpha is a bit hard to understand at first. It seems that Samsung didn't want to put the pedal to the metal, so instead we're left with what may be considered the best of both worlds, having metal and plastic as main parts of the Alpha's design. All of that aside, one thing is very clear. If you know the Samsung Galaxy S5, then you already know the Samsung Galaxy Alpha. I don't mean this in a bad way, but I like to think of the Alpha as TouchWiz in a can, because the canned version of something is pretty much always going to be more compact with a few sacrifices, let's say maybe taste or features in this case, and have a better shelf life or durability, and this explains the Galaxy Alpha for me. I'm not saying that plastic is weak, but metal is usually better for most people in pretty much every scenario. Well, first off, let's go ahead and take a look at specifications. The Samsung Galaxy Alpha is packing a 4.7-inch Super AMOLED display with a resolution of 1280 by 720, giving it 312 pixels per inch. We also have a quad-core Snapdragon 801 processor clocked at 2.5 GHz, 2 GB of RAM, 32 GB of internal storage, and unfortunately there is no micro SD card slot there, and an 1860 mAh battery. As far as design is concerned, this is almost everything I've ever wanted to see from a Samsung smartphone. It has a very solid build thanks to its metal frame, but unfortunately we're still left with the soft plastic backside that's removable to access the 1860 mAh battery. I was never a big fan of the scratch-prone chamfered edges found on the iPhone 5 or 5S, and the same rules apply here. Don't get me wrong, they look nice, but in my experience, they just end up getting scratched over time, and there is a lot of chamfered on this phone to get scratched. Either way, this is a very sleek and light device, and more than anything, I like what Samsung is doing here. On the left side, you'll find its volume rocker, while the right side is home to its power button, and along the top, you'll find a small microphone and 3.5mm headphone jack. Now moving around to the bottom is where the speaker, main microphone, and micro USB port reside for charging. The bottom speaker is also pretty good. It's not going to replace your favorite Bluetooth speaker, but in my opinion it gets the job done for a conversation or playing some music. Now the front panel is home to a 2.1 megapixel front-facing camera, earpiece, the appropriate sensors, and the home button with a built-in fingerprint scanner, and finally on the backside you'll find its 12 megapixel rear camera capable of shooting up to UHD quality video, LED flash, and a heart rate sensor. Now if you take away the metal frame and the compact body, you almost have a Galaxy S5, keyword here being almost. The performance on the Alpha is pretty much what you'd expect. At its core, the Alpha has the same top-of-the-line processor and RAM when compared to its brother, the Galaxy S5, so performance is going to be nearly identical between the two. The Galaxy Alpha has a 720p Pentile AMOLED display, and while I'm not a display expert, it doesn't seem too off from the quality found on the Galaxy S5, and like we've known with AMOLED displays, the colors are a bit oversaturated, and the viewing angles aren't always great, but the pixel density is where you'll notice the biggest difference with the Alpha. At just 312 pixels per inch, the Alpha is definitely a step under the standard of most smartphones today. Yes, you can see the pixels, but only if you're looking for them. As for camera quality, you're not getting Samsung's best here. The 12 megapixel shooter is a step below the S5's 16 megapixel shooter for some intentional reason. Pictures are decent, but nothing I'd use to compare with other high-end smartphone cameras on the market. For most consumers, the camera will do just fine, but for those with an eye for detail may find it lacking a bit. Oh, what about software? Ah yes, TouchWiz in a can. Because this is running Android skinned with Samsung's TouchWiz overlay, you'll get the same features that come along with the Galaxy S5. Like the S5, you'll find multi-window ultra power saving mode, Toolbox, S-Finder, S-Voice, and other features that we've grown to know, and as I mentioned before, it also comes with S-Health with a heart rate sensor, along with a fingerprint scanner. As far as the mAh battery in the Alpha was a bit concerning to me at first. I just assumed that the battery life would be poop. Well, it's not too bad. I could regularly make it from morning to night with no problems, but that was with just average use. When the Alpha is put to the test with constant web browsing, games, and other activities at anything above a reasonable brightness setting, the battery quickly diminishes. At the end of the day, this is nothing more than a beautiful experiment in my eyes. Samsung wanted to play Dr. Frankenstein, and the the Alpha was going to be its monster. While there's a lot of beauty in this beast, I'm more excited about the future that lies ahead. Samsung is definitely on the right track, and maybe the Alpha's successor will be just what the doctor ordered. Until then, we still have TouchWiz in a can. It's not bad, but it's not great, it just is. And for now, I guess I'm okay with that. Let's just see this design trend continue past the Alpha, past the Note 4, and onto the Galaxy S6. This is what I want from you, Samsung. Give it to me now. So I hope you enjoyed this review of the Samsung Galaxy Alpha, and if you did, feel free to leave a thumbs up as it does help out the channel a lot. Also, subscribe for more reviews like this in the future. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. This is Dom, and have a great day.